Hey YouTube, it's raining here, shooting a video for you. This one is going to be dedicated to interstitial cystitis, cpps, prostatitis, any of those all-encompassing symptomatic conditions that people say there's no cure for. I'm just a messenger and someone that's been through it for 9 years. I was told I would never get better, and I did. I got better, and the doctors told me that you know, I suffered for about 1.5 years of constant debilitating pain to the point of trying to take my own life. And I had a really high pain tolerance before that. And a lot of people who haven't been through it don't understand. And I know there's all different levels and degrees of the pain. And I had one of the worst things I did have was extreme urgency, which was my main symptom in the beginning. And it felt, I won't get, you know, you can go watch some of my other videos for a history lesson, but if you've ever been on either drank too much alcohol or been on a road trip and you really had to pee and you just couldn't find an exit, so you were holding it, you know, that insane urge that eventually turns into pain. Well, I had that 24/7, even though there was no urine or anything left, and I had that 24/7 for well over 1 year, in which at the end of that I tried to take my own life. So because the doctors told me I would never get better, and I could not and would not live, you know, dealing with that level of pain anymore. So I was looking at the wood. I just bought some wood. I got it in the back of my truck, and I'm hoping it's not sticking out too far. I'm gonna hit somebody. But okay, I think we're okay. Anyway, so it was bad, man. It was really bad, and I can't imagine if hell exists it would be any worse than what I dealt with. And I have PTSD as a result of that trauma. You know, when you lose your health, part of you dies, and it feels like a part of you never can get back. You know what I mean? Because life just can't be the same anymore, because you've seen that side of things. Just like I'm not trying to make a complete comparison or anything, but you know, in war, people who have seen things, experience certain things, you just can't come back from that completely. You know, I'm just saying that the experience is kind of ingrained in you, and for me, it's a constant fear of it coming back, and inevitably it does. Sort of like a self-fulfilling prophecy, and it's usually as a result of increased stress. And as I have talked about, and you will learn, I'm not saying you, but if you're dealing with some of this stuff that's brought you to my videos, you might have some comparisons here, because a majority of people, 90+% with these symptoms that's not bacterial, is related to what Dr. Wise calls cpps. He's from the book Headache in the Pelvis. Anyway, I don't want to get too much into the weeds of all that. I could talk for days about this. So what brought me to this video is just a follow-up. I'm having a flare, like I do, and you never know if a flare is going to last, you know, 6 hours or 2 months. Because I have all the mechanisms in place in the healthy lifestyle, and I kind of know what to do most of the time, I can keep a flare under control from taking over. Because when a flare happens, it sets in a fear response, and the fear response releases chemicals that can cause and worsen the pain, and mostly in the sense of increased tension, because your body wants to tense around soreness. So I have a trigger point that's in my pelvic floor, that just kind of popped up as I was pushing myself way too hard physically, doing a lot of exercise, lots of running, and running through pain, which is not, you know, what you need to do. I should have stopped that day when I felt it, but I kept running, and now I'm paying the consequence. So, but I get a lot of calls, or sorry, emails from people, probably 5 to 10 a week, that are dealing with this stuff, and it's tragic. And I just want to be a message of hope that you can get better. And unfortunately for me, I didn't find the answers until really, really deep into my condition. So had I known the truth early on, it would have saved me a lot of pain, a lot of pain, and a lot of trauma as a result. So anyway, it's been very stressful the past 6 months since my grandmother died, and then I bought a house, I relocated, and taken on some new positions in my life. I have a tech startup that I'm working on that's been extremely stressful. So I had pretty much zero, I won't say zero, but I was pretty much pain-free, 95% pain-free for the past year. I haven't had any problems. I have flare-ups, like I said, and like this one, I'm hoping will be a short-lived. As long as I take it easy and I continue the healthy lifestyle, but more importantly, and most importantly, is relaxing the tension. So consciously relaxing the pelvic floor muscles. So it's, oh gosh, sorry, very tired. But like for me, the pelvic floor, you're tensing it when you're scared, or you're experiencing fear or stress. I mean, really, I didn't realize how incredible stress is. It's true, man. It causes all kinds of stuff. Like, it's ridiculous. So, and I don't really know how to turn that off. I'm working on that. So I continue to stress, but you know, the underlying cause, you know, or the tension, the stress causes the tension, or the anxiety causes the tension causes the pain causes stress and anxiety, obviously. And then it fuels this triangle of pain. So I kind of like, you can go in there in the middle and consciously relax those sore areas, similar like a headache. If you have, you know, you wear a lot of tension in your neck, eventually, if you're stressed all the time, you start to have band-like sensations and tension headaches. A lot of people get that. Well, that's what, oh my gosh, so sorry. That's what the headache in the pelvis is all about. It's tension in your pelvis that you're tensing and you don't even realize it, right? You don't realize you're tensing your neck muscles until it starts to hurt. Well, you're tensing your pelvic floor, and then it starts to become symptomatic, okay? And once it becomes symptomatic, that's when people want to, you know, or freaking out and like, what's wrong with me? Why am I in pain? And then the freaking out causes more tension, more pain. Doctors are putting people on antibiotics and trying all these medications, and it's just, I was down that road, and honestly, it just didn't work for me. It doesn't work for me. Any of the people that I've talked with that have gotten better, obviously you have to be checked out for an STD or bladder infection or kidney stones, bacteria and secretions. There's all kinds of things you can do. But 90% of us, all that stuff comes back negative, and if so, then it's time to really look back and say, do I suffer anxiety? Do I have stress? And if you do, then more than likely that's the result, that's the cause. So I try to work on stress, but if you can't, you can work on relaxing the muscles. And when I first read the book and I knew that I was tensing, I kind of pushed out the stomach, it's kind of like you push out your bladder, do some deep breathing, and kind of just let it, you feel it fall, you feel it kind of drop, and then you can do, now I actually can feel the trigger, and unfortunately, a bowel movement, you know, rubbing up against the trigger point will cause it to send that flare, that referred pain into my bladder. And there's really not a whole lot you can do. I mean, I can't not have a bowel movement, but I have because I have really good digestive system now, because I eat a healthy, mostly Paleolithic diet, and that's very important, because prior to when I first got sick, I was eating very unhealthy, and I didn't exercise, so I didn't drink a lot of water, so my situation was worsened because I was having horrible bowel movements and causing strain, you know, constipation. All that is just going to stress those muscles out more. So getting on a really good paleo diet is definitely going to not only reduce inflammation, but it's also going to cause you to have better bowel movements, which are going to help relieve any you know, tension that you're causing. So that's hugely important, huge important. And then diet can also affect your stress and anxiety and allow your body to heal and deal with that better too. So diet isn't a quick fix. It takes time for your body to heal from it, but it probably is one of the main reasons I stay, you know, symptom-free. If I could just get my stress under control, then that would be, and I'm working on a non-sort of medication approach to that, because I want to have a sustainable future of being free of that. So I am probably at least 10 times more functional than I have been in years past. I no longer have like panic attacks, intrusive thoughts, or any of that stuff. No more depersonalization. I just have sort of brain fog, extreme stress, varying degrees, and then I do have pretty bad anxiety. And then the PTSD from worrying about constantly triggering it through, you know, I'm scared to have sex, scared to, you know, masturbate, scared to have a bowel movement, you know, I mean, scared to urinate a lot of times. So having fear of doing some of the most basic things in life is it's tough. So working on that, but in all, you know, you just have to keep on going. And another rookie mistake, a key rookie mistake that people will make, is that they won't drink water. They won't drink at all because they feel like that's going to make them have to pee more. And but what happens is your bladder becomes really, like, all that's in there becomes very acidic if you're not drinking enough water, and that acidity will start to break down the gag layer of the bladder, which can cause all this interstitial cystitis stuff. It can cause all this pain, and it can be very sensitive to certain foods. As soon as I got healthier and started drinking lots of water and doing everything properly and feeling great, man, I could eat most what I wanted to eat. I still avoid acidic things if I can, but for the most, I don't have any issues. I don't have any flares from food. And all you IC sufferers, I mean, I used to have huge flares like you from anything acidic. And now I can eat whatever I want most of the time, and all of my flares are related to stress. So and I kind of just moved on. I just stayed off the IC network, stayed off of the Prostatitis Foundation and all that stuff, because I didn't want to relive it. I want to be over it, but I also want to help, and that's why I make these videos. And like I said, I'm not 100% cured, but you know, have flares. But overall, I stay in about 90% remission, and 95% of my symptoms are gone during those times. So there's hope, and it gets better. And find a good physical therapist, stress relief, healthy lifestyle, exercise, stretching is so important. You need to do the proper stretches. So, and all these things, it's like, oh wow, that's way too much stuff. This isn't just for your bladder. This is for your health, your longevity, your quality of life, your brain. I mean, all these things help all aspects of your life. So it's not just healing your bladder, you're healing your entire body. So anyway, good luck to you, and I appreciate you watching. Subscribe, and hopefully I can help you out a little bit. We can help each other along the way. God bless.